Hey guys, Perfect Swerve here. I wanted to put together a video because I know a lot of you had some questions about the Frankenstender. Um, and specifically, a couple people were asking about the Frankenstender versus the Turbo Extender. Um, I don't normally make it a habit of, I don't want to seem like I'm trash talking or putting down anybody else's product because I know that we all work very hard on our products, and for myself at the very least, I put a lot of time and effort and thought into what I'm doing. I talk with BD on almost a daily basis, throwing back and forth ideas, and I'm constantly developing this, and he can certainly attest to the fact that since we've become friends here in the last few weeks, I probably throw up a new idea every day. In fact, I told him the other day that this version of the Frankenstender, even though it's the Frankenstender 3.0, this is actually the 27th iteration of the Frankenstender. So there have been quite a few things that have changed. And there are quite a few things that are going to change in the future. I don't know that I will sell it. I don't know that I'm going to sell this. The new designs, I don't know that they're going to be sold under the Frankenstender 3.0. I am toying around with the idea of just sort of retiring this design in favor of the new design. But there are components, and here's the greatest thing. The best thing is the new developments will be able to fit onto version 2.0 and version 3.0 Frankenstenders. So there's a new base that's coming out. Right now we are actually experimenting with a number of materials, including a thermoform plastic, a resin material, which I think I like, and also an aluminum base, which I have seen a couple of old school extenders that had metal bases. This aluminum base would be incredibly light. It would be literally unbreakable. It's aircraft aluminum. So we're thinking about that. I tend to think of things. I'm a former emergency medical services provider. I tend to think of a lot of things from hygiene perspectives, and when you have a product that is made out of stainless steel, aluminum, that kind of thing, it's a lot easier to clean. Just spray it down with Cavicide or bleach or whatever you like. Anyways, I don't want this video to take forever, even though it's going to, because your boy Perfect Swerve is a wordy guy. I just talk a lot. So the questions that I want to answer, there are a couple of them. Why is your ErgoFit base better than a plastic ring? Well, okay, so I can answer that really easily. The ErgoFit has a huge footprint. It's actually something along the lines of 6 square inches of base. So here's a real quick, we'll do this. So this is mine. This is theirs. So if you just sort of like take a first glance at that, you can see I have a lot more surface area. If we look at the actual shape of the bases, there's just a lot more material on this. The fact of the matter is that again, while I don't like trash talking other people's products, I will speak out against this one, because I think that for those of you guys who are paying money for this, you are being taken advantage of. A couple of reasons. I think this base is trash. This base actually sucks. I don't have a nice way of saying that. And I don't want to say it in a nice way, because I think that this company is just sort of taking advantage of you guys. this is a redesign of a redesign of a redesign of a redesign. And nobody that represents these companies are active on the forums. They don't actually care if you get gains off of their product. They don't, support you in any sort of aftermarket way. There's no, success stories that they put up on their own of, why these are the best, or, what kind of success they had with them. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm sure some guys have gotten results with them. But to be completely honest, the biggest thing that I've ever heard about these types of extenders is they break. And it's not, honestly, it's just not really surprising as to why. When you hold one of them, it feels cheap. It doesn't feel good. The base being plastic, it just feels sort of, just feels cheap, honestly. But also, that's the thing, is like they have it sort of contoured. And this, in practice, this sounds like a good idea until you put it on, and this just digs into your crotch. That's why they sell this thing with a comfort pad. Now, to that extent, I will say this. These are the prototypes for the Frankenstender comfort pad. It has a Christmas tree skirt design. The actual Frankenstender comfort pad is going to be twice this thick. I think this is 1/8, so I think it's going to be approaching 1/4 inch. This is a high durometer silicone. It is skin safe silicone. So we have it Christmas treed in here, so you can see. So basically, what you would do is you would drape this around your unit as such, and then place the base on top. Now, why do I think this is a better option than this with a big ass, pad that they sell it with? First off, that pad distends it far enough from your body that it is going to interfere with the angle at which you are extending. That is to say that part of your penis, and if, I think that thing is like 1 inch big, the pad. I'm not entirely certain of the durometer of it. I'm not certain how hard it is, because I didn't actually get that with mine. So part of the issue with that is that I think it spaces it a little too far away from the body. So you've got, here's your stomach, here's the spacer, and then your penis is sort of going through here. So it's like, if my knuckle is the actual base of your penis, it's like you've got it, here, and then you're extending, and if you're extending down, that could be potentially like, I don't know, 1 inch of your penis that you're not really pulling across this base, which is acting like a fulcrum. So I don't know. I think there's this debate on whether or not extenders actually target ligaments or not. I think they do more than some people believe. I think you have to extend nearly straight down, but I also think that to have any effect on it, that this has to be quite close to the body. So picking a denser material that is thinner, because believe me, this thing, even at 1/8 of an inch, when I press into this, even if I angle it and press hard, you can't feel any pressure points. It just dissipates pressure so well. And that's what hurts. That's what irritates. To be clear, it's not the pressure from extenders that actually hurts you. It's the small surface area. So basically, the more you can distribute, pressure along a larger surface area, the more comfortable it's going to be. And that was the overall thought process when I designed the Frankenstender base. Now, in the future, I am redesigning the base. I'm working with an engineering company right now. We are redesigning the base. And by the way, any future products, if you own a Frankenstender, any future products that I have that are compatible with the Frankenstender, you will get for a massive discount. So for those of you who are like, oh, I'm gonna wait until you release the version 45 Frankenstender, don't do that. Just buy it now. And believe me, I will hook you up in a massive way, because at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, I love making money, and I'm glad that I'm, you know, getting the opportunity to make these and make this a real sort of income for myself, because I do actually have a huge passion for doing this. I mean, you can talk to BD. I don't know that, you know, two guys talk about dicks more than, you know, probably me and him, but in a scientific way. So I think that probably covers the first question. Second question. How to make micro adjustments without increasing the tension too much. This guy says, on your post, I think it says 2 millimeter extra twist is like 3 pounds, which is a big jump in tension. Okay, so that's a good question. And he's right. So there is about 2 to 3 to 5 millimeters in the difference between some tensions. Okay, particularly on the low, particularly on the high end. For example, 17 pounds to 20 pounds isn't, it's a few millimeters. It really is, you know, they get narrower, you know, so from like 1 pound to 3 pounds is a lot. It's like 7 to 10 millimeters. But obviously, as you compress a spring, the more, you know, the smaller adjustments lead to bigger amounts of force, because it's an exponential. It's a form of accommodating resistance, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so on this, the way that we have it set up, to move 3 millimeters, the easiest way that I can do this is actually, I'm going to put this, what I think 3 millimeters away from the top is going to be. Okay, this space here, this is about 3 millimeters right here. So we're going to count how many times I have to turn these completely around. So we're going to go, that's a half, that's 1, that's 1.5, that's 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, almost there, 4, 4.5. 4.5 turns. So it takes 4.5 turns. And these are full turns with this. And by the way, whenever you get your production model, this is a prototype that I'm playing with right now. Whenever you get your production model, it will actually come with a mark on one of these. If you do not have a production model, if you do not have the model that has one of the edges marked, use a Sharpie or just scratch a line into it. BD has been playing with a protocol using the Frankenstender where he measures the amount of rotations, which I think is really smart. I think it's really great. This is a really new product, and I think honestly, I mean, I hate to say this kind of like douchebaggy sounding shit, but I think this is just so new, having a high tension extender like this. I think that we're still trying to toy with the best way that it could possibly work. BD's got a lot of ideas about it. If you want to bug him, please bug him about it. But for myself, what I find is that, and I was doing sort of an interval hanging thing before I watched BD's videos about it. I'm not sure even what possessed me to start doing that. I just, I'm a competitive powerlifter, and I tend to think in terms of sets and reps. And so every 5 minutes, I would go ahead and turn this, you know, 3 or 4 rotations, just thinking like, okay, let's increase the pressure, let's increase the intensity. Plus there's expansion, there's lengthening in the penis happening. All right, so all of that to say, micro adjustments on this thing are insanely easy, okay? So because again, here we're at the top, look, half of a turn. It doesn't even look like it moved. We'll do another half a turn. Doesn't look like it even moved. Another half of a turn. Oh, we can see some light starting to come through. Another half of a turn. A little bit more light. I mean, you guys see how much I have to move this thing. Look. Okay. And this is on a device where, you know, 5 millimeters is usually about, usually the difference between about 5 pounds or so. So to move 1 millimeter takes about 3 full turns, or 2 full turns. Yeah. So micro adjustments are very, very easy to do on this. What I will do, and I plan to do this later today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the guide, the pin post on my pin post on my Reddit that tells you what length is what tension. I'm going to update it for you guys, and I'm going to include 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and 4 pounds. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then from 5 to 7, 7 to 10, and 10 to 12. And I think I have 15 and 17. I do not recommend that you go above about 15, 17 pounds. Honestly, I don't know if I even recommend that you go as high as 17. The device is capable of 40 pounds. That doesn't mean you should go anywhere near that. Your car can probably drive 100 miles an hour. That doesn't mean that you should do that either. So just, use common sense when you're using this. To that effect, this does not produce 15 pounds of force. It doesn't. I've measured it. I know that their website says that it produces 7.5 kilograms of force. It does not. I don't, other than, did they change the springs? Is it can produce 7.5 kilograms of force? With upgraded springs or something. I'm not entirely certain. All I know is I paid the same price that you guys are looking for, or you guys are looking at from the official website. I've measured it. It does not go up that high. I want to say that at the highest it went up to maybe 11 pounds. And the difficulty with testing that for me was figuring out when it actually hit the spot where I was just, the springs were completely closed. So I want to say that I could move it a little bit. I want to say safely that I actually measured it out to like 10 pounds. I think maybe 11 pounds was when it was just bottomed out, and I was still tightening the screws. That's one of the reasons I don't have a problem sort of speaking out against this, is because I think this company is potentially just trying to take advantage of some of its users or some of its customers. This video is going to be too long. With other extenders, there is a mark in the rod that helps you pick the right tension. With this Frankenstender, you have to use a ruler. How hard is it to use? Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. It's not hard at all. What you do is you literally, I'm just going to go all the way to the top, and I don't actually have a ruler right next to me, so we're going to pretend. So right now, we're going to guess that this spring is about 68 millimeters. Okay, 68 millimeters just happens to be, I think, 2 pounds. I could be wrong. I'm prepared to be wrong. Okay, if we want to increase the tension, now imagine your penis is what's holding this in space, not this. Okay, so if we want to increase the tension, we simply go up. Now let's say that we get to 55 millimeters, and what we're measuring, you just hold a ruler up and you measure from the top of this nut, top of the thumb nut, to the bottom of this rail right here. So if we measure 55 millimeters there, then, oh my gosh, we have 10 pounds. To give you an example of what I'm going to put this is a 5, I've cut these to be anatomically representative sizes. This is a 5.5 inch toy, and I've got it in a regular Chinese cup. So what we're going to say is this, okay? So if we have this here, and let's say that now we've got some tension on it. Let's say that that is 68 millimeters, from the top of the rod to the bottom of the spring, or sorry, the top of the washer to the bottom of the riser. That is going to be 3 pounds of pressure. Okay, so let's say that we tighten it up and we measure it. All of a sudden we've got 55 millimeters. Oh, that's 10 pounds. Okay, let's say we go tighten it up. Now the springs are compressed a lot more. Okay, let's say we've got 45. What you can see in the table, that's, what is that? 17? I think it's 17. 17 pounds of pressure. The question has also been asked. Okay, so this is obviously far away from the base. The question has also been asked, okay, what if my penis is not that long? Okay, well, I'm going to show you. I'm sorry, this video is so long. Okay, your penis is only this long. So now I've got the base. So this would be representative of somebody who's got about a 6-inch penis. So now I've got the toy penis lined up and it's stretched. So right now we have, let's say, 3 pounds of force on it. Okay, all we do is we tighten these until the springs reach, again, let's pick my favorite number, 55 millimeters. And you see what's happening is it's sort of stretching. This is going to stretch because this is a toy. It's made of silicone. It's not like your penis. So let's say that we tighten this up until it hits 55. You have 10 pounds of pressure here. So it literally works with any length. I have sold these to people who have microphallus. I have sold these to female to male, people who are transitioning. So there is no minimum size, and when I say that, that's not like a marketing thing. There is no actual minimum size because this will slide all the way down. I mean, I'm gonna do it just so I can sort of show you, so you have it in your mind. This can slide all the way down to there. That is 4 inches, and of course it actually goes another 1.5 inches. So as long as you, as long as provided that your cup actually fits on to the head of your penis, it can accommodate a relatively small number. Something else that I wanted to show, and this is just for kicks and giggles, because I have had people ask, do I have to back hang with this? And the answer is no, you don't, because here's a male hanger. I have slightly modified this male hanger. The male hanger actually fits directly in the frame. So if I can, I'm struggling because this is a dildo and it's not wanting to cooperate. It's being gelatinous rather than penis-like. Okay. There we are. All right, there's a better example. Male hanger inside the Frankenstender. You adjust it exactly the same. The only modification that I made to this male hanger is I took the original fabric off of the sides and I attached it via paracord. This is my quick and dirty solution. You can come up with a more elegant solution. If your length isn't really excessive, you could probably actually just use the regular strap that Ben gives you. Anyways, male hanger in a Frankenstender. It works 100%. All right. I am so sorry. I am getting onto the Discord I'm gonna see if there are any questions that I need to answer right now. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention. Okay, so this is a really huge thing. I don't know how in God's name I forgot this. Okay, so look, the biggest reason BD has thoughts and opinions about this, and that's fine. I don't think I've ever clarified my methodology for doing this. One of the biggest reasons that I created this top piece is because these extenders right here, these things fucking twist like crazy. I mean, you get like all sorts of twisting that happens, especially at higher tensions. The other thing, this is a small Chinese cup. This is a small one, okay? So when I loop this through here, the small Chinese cup hits the rails. You can see it's resting. Well, yeah, it's resting. Especially if you do it like on the other side where you're supposed to loop the damn thing in there, it sits literally on the rails. That is going to rip your sleeves. I get more people telling me about ripping their damn sleeves than anything else. You've got a lot of clearance in the Frankenstender. A ton, a literal ton. Okay. This is a Total Man size 4 cup. This is the one that I use. You have a lot of clearance. I use a Total Man size 5 cup in here after I pump, and you still have clearance. You would literally have to have a circumference of 9 inches before these rods start to become an issue. That's one of the reasons you can actually put the male hanger in it. That's one of the reasons M9 and I are working together to figure out he's creating a version of the airlock system that is uniquely compatible with the Frankenstender. Booyah. So, that's another thing. I don't think that if you are, any sort of like, I don't think if you're any sort of size that you'll be able to get away with using this thing just because of how tiny it is. Because look at, this is a size 4 Total Man. And we're all about getting bigger, right? And so it's not necessarily even about how big you are now. It's like, well, how big do you want to get? Do you want to get to a size that, is, pretty standard goals for what I see on the forums are like, guys are like 7 inches, 8 inches. Cool. That's awesome. You're not going to do that shit in this thing. Yeah. So this is just the best example. I don't really feel like I have to talk my way through this point. Total Man size 4. Total Man size 3 does it. Pretty sure even the size 2 does it. I've never held a Total Man size 1. I don't know what it looks like, but just saying, the Chinese small already hits these rails. You are going to rip your sleeves. And I hope that all of you have an aspiration of getting bigger than the Chinese size 1. So that being said, your growth potential is limited by the size of this. That's one of the biggest facts. And honestly, the circumference, the diameter of this is not going to support you. Period. Once you start to approach the upper end of 5 inches, or definitely not 6. I mean, it's an oblong shape, and but that's let's just compare again. I mean, I selfishly designed this for me. So when I was picking the measurement, I made sure that me at 6.5 could go into it, and that I had room to grow. So that's the other thing. Anyways, 2 more seconds. Perfect Swerve. BD said your base is better because of the bar placement. Does the bar get in the way for girthy guys? Unless you are 9 inches, no. BD actually said, I have destroyed many sleeves because of narrow bars. So, I get it. Please measure 1, 2, 3 pounds, millimeter in tension. I plan to. I'm going to. I'm going to do that this afternoon. Is it possible to get in the EU, and where can I get it? I ship worldwide. I have shipped to 6 of the 7 continents on this planet at this point in time. So, yeah. I'm not seeing any more questions on here. So, I'm going to assume that I covered everything. If I didn't, then please reach out, message me on Reddit. I plan to do another one of these, but maybe next time I'll do it on YouTube live so that we can actually sort of chat and see what's going on. So, all right. Perfect Swerve. Out.